So, welcome to Panda Strong Podcast. We interview Canada's top amateur to pro female strength athletes. And we do this to empower women to compete in strength sports and, be stronger than all the boys in the arts as well. I'm just kidding. Not really, no. So, I'm Stephanie. Y'all know me. Hey. I do the Strongman and the Highland Heavy Games. I'm about to do a dabble in the powerlifting, but I teach the fitness and the dance. So, check me out on the YouTube. Anyways, today's episode is all about upping your training game. It is almost April. You know what that means, people? Spring bod. You know what that means? Well, I mean, you can be sick and shit, but be sick and fit. You know what I mean? You want to look healthy. You want to feel healthy. You want to live healthy. So how do you do that? Lockdowns in some provinces are starting to release the restrictions. So that means we can all start competing again and living it up. So we have the most amazing woman, perfect woman for the job today on the show is Tracey Halladay. And by the way, she's got a theme song and I'm going to post a TikTok dance to it. I want you guys to join in on the Tracey Halladay theme song. Check it out on our Facebook page and a YouTube channel. So she is an amazing strongman. She's actually 2018's Canada's Strongest Woman, which is insane in the membrane. And she's the co-owner of Mettle, Mettle, not as a metal hard rock. Yeah. But I'm sure she probably is into that too. I don't know. But anyways, they have an amazing gym. Her and her husband, he's also a strongman, and he coaches out of there. He's a longtime strongman. And they're actually doing some pretty amazing things, which we're going to talk about today. So thank y'all for listening in. And thank you for being on the show today, Tracey.
Oh, you're welcome. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, so Tracey has a lot of amazing accomplishments. And so tell us how you got into the sport, girl. I know you started with the powerlifting, got some medals, and then you went to strongman. So talk to me, girl. What brought you to the sport?
I started powerlifting in 2006, I believe. I did that for years. Like me and my husband even went to Worlds in Austria in 2007. I didn't do super great there. I wasn't the best powerlifter, but it was a super awesome experience. And then I had my daughter in 2012. And then shortly after that, I started dabbling in training the strongman events because they looked frigging awesome. And I liked, I don't know, they're so much more fun than the powerlifting training. So I trained it and I loved it. And there was no competitions for women anywhere in Canada. So my husband, being the awesome, wonderful human being he is, said, screw this. We're not going to make you train and not be able to compete. So we're going to start running women's shows here. And he actually ran the first ever women's strongman show in Regina. Well, it was in Canada, actually, the first one in 2013. And then he did another one early in 2014. And we actually ran the first Canada's Strongest Woman. The first since its demise in the early 2000s. In 2015, before CASA started, we ran an actual Canada's Strongest Woman, an amateur one in Regina Beach, actually.
So you guys are some of the founders in the Trailblazers, and that's amazing because, people really underestimate like the first step, right? Because we all want to get to the big goal, but it's those first little steps that make a huge difference, right? Like if you guys didn't start that, none of the stuff that exists now in your area, which is, by the way, where you at, girl, so people can find you and your gym.
Oh, well, I actually live in a place called Canukama, which is
Canukama.
It's just past Regina Beach, which is about 35 minutes outside of Regina, Saskatchewan, which is where our awesome gym is, and we train out of there.
So bad joke time. Is that named after the Canucks?
I don't think so.
I don't play sports. Oh my God. Is that like a hockey team? I don't know. I feel like
I think it's the Vancouver Canucks.
Okay. But I'm also thinking about the movie D3 Mighty Ducks.
Oh God, that's old.
I know. God. Oh, yourself. Oh shit. So anyways, and what actually makes her really interesting is she is a teacher and she was a skater girl, you know, skater boy, see you later, boy. She was like Avril Lavigne, but Avril Lavigne, if she wasn't a fairy, could punch you and take you down. So what was the besides it not existing, like what gave you guys the passion to open up your gym and to start these competitions? Because I mean, it's a big risk, right? It's not like equipment's cheap. It's not like a lifting gym is more expensive than to start up than a regular gym. So
Yeah, so my husband's like always had a dream to own a gym. Like that he's just loved it since he was a kid. He got his kin degree at the U of R, and he did, like, I think he worked for maybe like 6 months out of other local gyms like CalFits and places like that. And then he was like, screw this, let's open it up. We actually opened up the first ever, we called it a personal training studio in Regina in 2006. He had a different business partner at the time. They since parted ways because, you know, that shit happens all the time. Now we have Mettle, I believe it was like 2015, 16. I don't even know when we switched over, but it was a pretty good decision to make. And now we're just hardcore. Like, we don't, like, he refused to sell out. He's not going to run booty pump classes at our gym just to get some extra cash coming through the door.
I teach twerking. How dare you?
Like, we do some like we do classes, but you know, they're based around like strongman and powerlifting events and cardio that way.
No.
Like, we refuse to sell out like a lot of the other places in our area have, and I think that's what makes us special. We're actually a true strongman powerlifting strength sports gym. We're not like a strength sports at the nighttime, but during the day we're booty pump. You know, no, we don't do that.
No, because you know what, that needs to be said though, because one time I gone to, well, I try to be pretty polite with people, but like I was trying this gym and they have like boxing bags, like, right. And I understand because like they got limited space and real estate's expensive, but you know, and I understand if you guys, you know, especially in these times, right, you're trying to keep the doors open, but they had a bunch of boxing bags right where all the strongman equipment was. So somebody would like boxing and I'm like holding like a 410-pound yoke. And I'm like, excuse me, yeah, please.
That's the way, please.
Good.
Yeah,
and
boxing is a super kick-ass sport too, but like I think it needs a lot of space. Like, it can't be just shoved in a corner, right?
I personally like it for fitness. I get it, but then there's like gyms that do that, like have that focus, and I think it's important. Like, you know, Orange Theory Fitness, where it's like kind of hold a triathlete training where you're running, you're cycling, light resistance weight, high reps, you know, kind of sprint training, essentially HIIT training. And everything, every type of fitness has its place, it has its purpose. But yeah, I think it's really important if you're going to be a strength gym to just be a strength gym, because it's not that it's like a different market clientele, but it's a space issue and it's a vibe issue. And for me personally, like, I'm a dancer and I know that like what I do in my dance world is completely opposite and different than lifting. So like, I appreciate that. Because yeah, it's really off-putting when I see like booty pump girls that come to my old gym. I'd be like, huh, what? Like, there's like people powerlifting like, ugh, and then there's a girl in the corner, you know, bending low to the side.
We're like serious like strength athletes, and like we have like shit on the wall, like, you know, don't be an asshole, no pussies allowed, and it's like, you know, it's just like we don't get offended, and like we're there to do a job, right? Yeah, we have fun in between sets, but you're essentially there to do a job and do it well. So that's why we do it at Mettle.
Well, you don't want distractions. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't want to like be distracted by like a cardio class that's 3 feet from me. Like, I need to focus on my sets and shit. I don't want to be around other people who are grunting and lifting. But that's just me. So anyways, so I know you guys coach and stuff like that, and you're starting up these new strongman competitions that are old school style now, because you're on the topic of upping your training game. I'm sure all y'all strongman and powerlifting athletes are wanting something to train in and get ready for. So before we get into how to adapt your body for the current times and your spring bound, tell us about the competitions you are doing, the names, where, what they will be lifting.
Okay, so me and a couple friends, like me and my husband and Brad Provic, who is a well-known name in strongman. If you don't know it, maybe you should do your research. And also Corey Balaberta, who's Steve's brother. He's also a pro strongman. We just started up it's called Classic Strongman.
I'm just
No, he's
kidding.
married to a wonderful girl. It's called Classic Strongman Championship League. We're on Instagram at classic.strongman, and we have just decided to start up a league where there's like no bullshit, no membership fees, no politics. We're just gonna run shows like they did in the past. Like they're shows to entertain. We're going to have crowds as COVID allows. We want to have people like on the edge of their seats and like asking for our freaking autographs at the end of the show because it was so cool. Not like, you know, having like this amazing show, which lots of the shows are amazing. I'm not going to take anything away from any of the promoters right now, but we're not bringing in crowds, right? We need to bring that back. Like we always run, Brad's always run the July 1st Western Canada's Strongest Man. I think since 2014, he's run it at the Legislative building in Regina. There's thousands of people there watching, and sure, there's other stuff going around for July 1st at Wascana Park, but they like people come just for the Strongman show because it's so entertaining. Like it's not boring to watch anymore. We're going to be having at least 3 or 4 shows this year, mostly in Western Canada because we just started up this year. There's going to be something coming out that's super, super exciting for the ladies. So I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but it'll be coming in August or September. So watch your mail for, or your inboxes for an invite, ladies, if you're at the top of your game. There's going to be lots for men too, all around in small towns. We're going to take it back to small towns. Small towns love Strongman, and it's like a circus event. It brings back to the past where it was like, oh my God, like what? Yeah.
In the right ways. You know what I mean? And it's like, don't make girls be deadlifting the heel. I see girls doing that. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, oh, like your ankles.
No, it's going to be entertaining. Like, it's not going to be like, it's still going to be heavy, but it's not going to be like, you know, the winner gets 2 reps on something. It's going to be entertaining, and it's going to nearly kill the athletes, but people are going to love it.
They might die. They have a consent form. They'll sign it.
Did they die? No.
But yes, but did you die? Did you die? Oh, why are you even crying right now? Like
so keep your eyes open for that. Like, and especially the ladies, keep your eyes open for an invite that's probably coming your way if you're one of the top ladies in Canada, all of cross Canada. Not just...
I have a question about the divisions, because I know you said no politics. So something I'm really passionate about is getting toddlers and teens, which I know is so controversial in the sport, but also more adaptive divisions. There isn't. So as a person with a disability who has to train and compete with other non-disabled athletes, it's an unfair advantage. And I just use it to like up my game, you know, and become more awesome sauce. But I'm just curious because I feel like with the old school strongman stuff, it was a lot more adaptable, and I feel like it was a lot more inclusive. You know, we say the sport's more inclusive now. So can you talk to us more about, I know you don't want to spill all the beans, but talk to me more about divisions and some of the guidelines and some things that we're going to expect to see, because you got me curious, girl. I'm thinking circus dumbbells with the circles on the end and the moustache. Maybe it's time for the best moustache.
Yeah, we're gonna do cool stuff like that. We're just gonna bring back the old events. Like if you check us out on Instagram and Facebook, we've been sharing some photos from the late 90s, early 2000s of some of the guys that used to compete around here and around Canada. Just the events were super cool. I'll touch on divisions for right now. Our league won't be doing like weight classes or age classes. Right now, they might do the men's, like split it into 2, like 231 and under, 231 and over. I'm not sure if they're doing that this year or not. We're doing that this year or not. For women, like, okay, I'm going to be super honest right now. In Canada, especially right now, even with the amateur divisions growing, there's not enough top level female athletes in our country right now to warrant weight classes in our sport. Sure, at the amateur level, go right ahead. That gets more people in, it gets people active in it, and it gets people involved and gets people excited about it. But once we get to the pro level, it's like either you're you're going to do it or you're not, right? Like if you think you're too little, I think that's just your way of making an excuse, because I'll use Leafa Engels as an example. I think she was like 165 pounds and she won the Pro Arnold against like heavy hitters. So you can't use that as an excuse. I think you can be strong no matter how big you are. You can compete with the bigger girls. And like me too, like I always competed open. I'm so close. I could always make middleweight, but I've never had the passion to, because if I'm going to win something, I want to win the real thing, not like the middleweight championships. I want to win like the championship. Does that make sense?
Girl, yes, preach. So, and also there's a lot of teams and grandmas and like master's division athletes that are super strong, right? Even like adaptive, like I said, there's people who do strongman that have severe physical disabilities. You know, they've got, I can't think of it right now. CP, someone help me out. Cerebral palsy, thank you. You know, or they're missing limbs, right? So to me, that's so powerful and inspiring and motivating. So I feel like what makes strongman is you succeed or you don't, like you said, based on the limitations in your head. Now, number two thing is when I lift weight, I don't think about how much lift I'm weighting or weight I'm lifting. When I walk and I dance and I do the things I do with my displays, they're like, oh, how do you like, oh, you know, do the stuff you do with your weight, or it's because I don't think that I have to have someone's permission. I don't think I have to have a certain body type or weight to dance. If you don't like it, because regardless of my talent, because you don't like heavyweights, then don't look. I don't really care. Like I don't. And that's how I feel like you need to approach everything with strongman. It's like, until you've been proven that you absolutely, without a doubt, cannot do it because you failed a million times, like, why not try? And personally, I like you said, being open and trying different, just being like, whoever is the strongest, because, yeah, there's genetics, but like basically it goes down to your training, right? And your nutrition and what you're doing in the background consistently every single day. And, you know, what your game mindset is that day. And if you throw in, throw out, really just depends on you. Even if you have all the right genetics, you've done all the right things, you know, mental game is so much. Like why would you want to, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting you. Some of the women that are coming out of the middleweight class now could run circles around the open women too. Like, I don't know why we have to separate ourselves at the top level. Like I get it in the amateur or whatever, and it's like to get a spot here, get a spot there. But like really, like in the end, what does it matter, right? Yeah, I think some of the women in the middleweight class like could kick most of the, or a lot of the heavyweight women's butts. And like, I think it's because they live a more healthy lifestyle. Like,
I know we're not supposed to say that, but I'm going to say it because this is something that's my pet peeve, is when people treat me like shit because I think I ice cream all day. It pisses me off because I just don't have the lean genetics. I have to do ridiculous amounts. Like I walked a 12K today and I burned like 2,500 calories and I ate proper 3 meals a day. I don't have a big stomach. I actually can't eat as much as I should, even with protein. So I just don't have those genes, but I don't make that an excuse. I don't know, right? Like I'm like, I need to get my cardio done. And the thing is, because I'm always been like someone who cycles and walks and swims, and that's just the way I was raised, kind of like as an outdoor country kid. It's not a job to me. It's not something I have to like work towards. Like I enjoy it. I like being outside. I love dancing. I love exercising. So that's always been my advantage in strongman, because I'm such a high heavyweight. Like when I was competing before, I think I must have been 270, 300 pounds, something like that. I don't remember because of, you know, before my baby. But anyways, my point is like, that was, you know, that's where I kicked the other heavyweights asses who had been training or competing longer than me. And they beat me in certain things just because they had more time on me. But I kicked their ass when it came to the endurance stuff. So yeah, that's so important to like, especially after your heavyweight sessions, is to do the cardio, because that's when you're going to have the most results.
Yeah, and like you don't need to do cardio, you know? Like running on the treadmill. Like my cardio is pulling a truck, or like today I did like sled drags instead of like, I don't like run, or like I go for walks. I walk my dog all the time, but like I don't consider that cardio. I consider that like having a nice time with my dog. But
yeah, I know, right? I'm so jelly. I want a puppy again. So on this subject, if people are going to be, you know, getting ready for a competition, whether in person and other virtual competitions, on the topic of upping your training game. Now, obviously, our listeners are amateurs, they're pros. So you're talking to two different kind of categories there. So we're approaching the amateurs first. What are some tips you have besides the classic, eat your protein, sleep, all that good stuff that we always hear? What are some key things you think people could do right now in the day-to-day if they have little equipment or whatever, right? So a lot of girls stopped training in 2020 completely. All it took was them not having a competition to look for and they stopped, which is really sad. Like a lot of them were just kind of up and coming. So if you've got some people kind of falling on the bandwagon a little bit, off, what would you recommend?
I would recommend getting your asses back out there, even if it's like, even if you can't go to the gym. Like, I get it, lots of places have closed down, but like, make something up. Like, go lift a tree, do something. Like,
go find a tree, lift it, goddamn,
pull your
like
car, like push your car, like
to be honest, stuck in the snow, you know how to do that.
I'm like kind of sick of everyone like, oh, like even people that still have access to gyms, they're like, oh, I don't have a competition coming up, so I have no motivation. Well, isn't your motivation to be freaking strong? Like, why do you need something driving you? Like, do you have it or don't you have it? Like,
okay, I got to say something for creativity. So for moms, just a shout out to moms, it's not that hard. Buy ankle weights, right? My stroller with my kid in it, with the stroller, right? That's like without anything else, just him in the stroller is probably 60 pounds. So the bottom has a little part where you can put like another 25 pounds. So I could put a 25-pound weight in there, put on ankle weights, put on a weighted vest. You walk 10K with that shit, and let me tell you, that is a fucking arm workout and cardiovascular, 100%. Oh, you have a kid's wagon where you pull your toddler, put a fucking bunch of weights in it and pull that for half an hour.
And honestly, if you have a gym membership to a Strongman gym, and during a lockdown, they're not offering you to either rent equipment or borrow equipment, they're not being true to our sport. Like,
they're shit, Jim. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of don't really respect that. I saw a lot of people selling equipment. Like, you could just rent it and still make income and pay for your gym.
So when we haven't been locked down for a while in Regina, like it was last March, we were locked down. What we did was people kept paying their membership fee. And if you kept your membership fee up, you could borrow equipment and take it home until we had to go back to the gym or got to go back to the gym. And that kept our doors open after, because our members were super happy we did that. We didn't charge them extra. We just charged them their regular membership. They got to take home, even like we had like, like adjustable ER racks and like weights and Oli bars and anything like farmer's walk equipment, like just
people can make kits, like gym owners can like make kits and like do virtual classes. Like, it's not hard. And so for me, like I literally bought, and I'm going to be, just so you guys know, like from now until June with a virtual comp, I'm going to be posting DIY tutorials. I've already posted them on our Strong Women of Canada Facebook page. Check it out. If you're not already on it, join it. You have to be a chick though, just saying. It's for women. I have a lot of guys that try to get in the group. No, you shall not pass. I'm sorry, I love you, girls, but you can creep me on my other pages and channels. But anyways, so the thing is, I'm recording them live. So I'm going to show you how to hack any kind of equipment using wood, metal, like old wood, refurb wood, almost anything, cement. So like one thing I did is I bought like a dolly used from Facebook Marketplace, and it was $20. All I got to do is pop a fucking piece of plywood on there, a little pole, and then pop weights on it. That's it. I could even just skip that last step and put fucking weights on it and bungee it to it. And then you buy seatbelt straps or any kind of strap. And if you have a weighted vest, you just attach it to the back and fucking run. So like, there you go. Boom. It's gonna cost me like $35.
Yeah. Be creative, ladies. Be creative. Don't just quit. Don't quit. Like, we're all in the same boat, like in some way or another right now. This last year, over a year now, has been ridiculous. But we all are in the same boat. But if you want it bad enough, you'll always find a way. And if you say, oh, there's no way, then you're lying to yourself and you don't really want to do it anyway, somewhere deep down inside, because there's always a way. Always.
Well, that's why, like I said, I invested the money for my own home gym, which was like $3K. And then, having this baby, I was really worried because I was like, is my strongman career going to be over? I just started, if I have this second baby, if I have a C-section, because I was training for nationals when I got pregnant, like it wasn't planned. I'm so happy, so blessed, but whoops, you guys, listen, if you take out your IUD, do not do the poonchy pooch. Do not do the poonchy pooch. They lie to you. They say it takes time to get fertile again. That's a goddamn lie. It takes 1 week. That's it. Especially if you healthy and young. TMI, I know. I just want to save y'all strongman careers. But anyway, it's like, you know, it's like you said, if there's a will, there's a way. You can make it work. And like I said, well, I want to do my cardio. I don't have the fucking time at night. I'm not going to do cardio at like 12:30 fucking night when I'm up at 4. So how am I going to do that? Every time my baby naps and my son's at school, I'm like, all right, cardio time. Even if I have to split the sessions in 3 and have a cold sweat, you know, that's what the washer and dryer is for. Change my clothes, make it work. And then I have my protein shakes. I got my bars. Like, you get yourself set up and get ready, right? So obviously you joined a sport and you had success in a very short amount of time. Your mom, your teacher got a lot going on. So what are some of the hacks or things that you like, besides being creative with like finding equipment, making equipment, or doing exercises that, you know, training on your weaknesses, doing things that you wouldn't necessarily do? What are some things that people can do, you know, with their nutrition or the fitness that can save time and money that they can start doing now with the spring coming up? We're really feeling the pressure, whether or not they're competing.
So like, I think a huge thing, like you said, don't just be like, oh, eat your protein or whatever. But like, I think that's number one. Like, people are like, oh, I eat lots of protein. I had a steak today. That's not enough. Like, at least 1 pound of protein per body weight if you're a strength athlete. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you have to eat 200 grams of protein a day, at least, to stay strong. Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot of protein. And if you're doing it healthy, or even calories, if you're just doing like, oh, I want to eat 4,000 calories or whatever it may be, or your nutritionist tells you to, like, that's a lot of food if you're not doing it in crap food. So I'm very lucky, and I have a sponsorship from True North Nutrition, and they send me really kick-ass stuff every month that I get to try. I highly recommend like the Quest cookies, the Quest chips. Like, make it easy. Like, pre-pack your meals for the day to like at nighttime, even if you're just doing it for 1 day. I pack my daughter's lunch for school. I pack my lunch for school, plus everything for the full day. So like today, for example, I was at school for 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock. So I had all my food for the day in my bag. And then I went straight to the gym after. So I had my pre-workout snack, my post-workout snack, and then also my supper in that bag. Like, everything, you take it with you, and you're not caught like, oh, I'm so hungry and I'm not gonna be home for 2 more hours. Then you don't have to run to McDonald's. You have it there. You have no excuse. You've done it. You've done your work.
Honestly, like, if you don't plan, you plan to fail, right? So
exactly.
So sometimes my stomach hurts in the morning because I like train late night. So I had a protein shake 5 hours ago. If like I fall asleep at 12 and I wake up at 4 with the baby, like, my body's like, no, right? So I have keto bars, right? So it's just pure fat, which is fine because, you know, I just do keto carnivore. So I just eat fat and meat, basically. And I do eat vegetables, but I mean, like, I don't do a lot of, I do enough carbs for my workouts, right? In accordance with. But like for meal prep, and I say to people, it's like, you know, split into 1 or 2 days. And it's like, I use the whole oven at once, right? So I'll have my chicken in the slow cooker. I don't know if I hear my toddler come down, you guys. Oh God, he might be attacking this conversation in 1 second. So I have the food in the slow cooker, right?
Cooks most of the supper. Well, in the summertime, I cook more because I don't work in the summer, but he cooks meals, and we always cook enough for like 2 or 3 days instead of like, you know, cooking like 1 pork chop for each person at the meal or whatever. You cook like 2 whole family packs of pork chops, and then that's what you eat until they're gone, and then you cook again. Like, you don't have to cook supper every night.
That's why I think women burn out, right? Like moms, especially moms who train, it's like, yeah, it is unrealistic if you're trying to live that way. Like when I make homemade Play-Doh for my kid, I make 4 batches at once. Yeah. It's like just one big ass pot. And then if you like, I don't give him the whole batch at once. And then if he wrecks it, I'm like, yeah, you got Play-Doh for a month. I don't have to think about it. And same thing with said 3 meals. And simple things like some of my food hacks are obviously boiled eggs. You know, you boil like a dozen eggs. They're there in the morning, and I don't like 10 minutes deep. Yeah, you just chop them up, add some mayo, some like chopped onion or whatever, and just put it in a protein wrap, and then boom, right? Like done. And then if my lunches and dinners, like I obsessed with chicken breast. Like all I have to do is literally take it. My food is, you know, fridge is filled with food. And all I have to do is just throw it in the microwave. And that's 15 minutes deep. So I'm like, I don't have time. Like, you're right, you don't have time. So you maximize the shit out of the time you do have, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do fucking dishes every day. I want to clean my house every day. Like, I have a schedule. Whoa. And every time I mess with that schedule, like, it falls apart. I don't get to train. Then I start eating shitty food like pizza. And I'm like, oh God, you know what I mean? So it really is worth it. And you're
Definitely.
lucky you have men.
Like, I want to add too, like, there's nothing wrong with eating shitty foods like pizza every now and then. But like, if you're doing it every day, you're not going to be strong. Like people always say you are what you eat. And I think that's kind of weird, but you kind of are when it comes to your training and your performance in the gym and at contests. You are what you eat. Like, if you're eating cookies every day and not like square meals, like that are healthy with vegetables and protein, you're not going to perform well that day. You're going to run out of energy. You're going to run out of steam, and you're not going to be strong. Like, you have to eat to be strong if you want to be strong.
Well, yeah, you can't not eat. So I want to talk about another really incredible part about your story, which is the fact, just like me, but a lot sooner, you're one of those amazing women that hit the gym postpartum, right after having not the greatest pelvic floor experience with your child, your daughter. And we'll get into how awesome it is the training you do with your daughter. But talk to me about that. Talk to me about how, you know, you were able to jump into that so soon. What were the exercises you did do and didn't do? Like in terms of movement patterns, like how did you do that? Because I mean, most postpartum fitness instructors will just steer you completely away from that for at least a year, right? So
yeah. So I had a super amazing pregnancy when I was pregnant with Jordan. Up until I got, like, I think it's called pelvic floor dysplasia, and it was just pain in my pelvis like constantly, and it was horrible. Like, even just like being a teacher and working all day, like being on my feet. Like, I worked at a community school at that time, so you don't really get a lot of time to sit. Like, even on your prep time, you're dealing with students' emotions and stuff. So I was sore all the time, and I couldn't really train, which sucked. I was a power lifter at the time. I would go and do like little bodybuilder things, but I would get so tired and I get so sore. So I couldn't really keep my strength up. Actually, during my pregnancy, I only gained 20 pounds, and everyone, whoa, that's like amazing. Like, how did you do that? I'm like, well, I lost probably like 10 pounds of muscle, but like, that's why. But anyway, so after I had Jordan in 2012, I was just ready to go back to the gym. Yeah, like, giving birth sucks and it's not exactly a pleasant experience. Jordan was 11 days early, so I made a promise to myself that I would go back to the gym on her due date. So I did that. It didn't go great, but I did some bench and stuff. Like, obviously not going to do squats and deadlifts or anything like that, because that would be like the worst. But so I'm like, hey, I'm going to bench a plate. And like, for me at that time, like, a plate was like nothing. It was like a warm up or whatever. But I benched a plate for 1 rep, and it wasn't easy. And I don't like to talk about that very much. But anyway, after that, I started going consistently back to the gym, taking my daughter with me. We would go train at the same time, and the guys at the gym would take care of her with us when we were doing sets, which was super awesome. Like, our gym is like a family. Yeah, I don't think I started squatting or anything like that until like maybe 2 months after. And then it was like everything light, and same with deadlifts, because things are still sore, even though you get the go ahead from your doc. Like, it still hurts and things pull and things are still going back to normal. So my suggestion to people that just have a baby, do what you can, do what feels good. And if it doesn't feel good, stop. Yeah. Like, I don't mean stop and quit and never lift weights again. I mean, stop that exercise and do something else. Like, if you're trying to do squats for the first time and they hurt and you're not comfortable, do some lunges. Like, something that's a little easier on your body.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say something though about the cultural shift and what's important to understand about culture. Like, when you study certain cultures, like, these women are on their feet all day and they're lifting stuff, and other women support each other, right? Like, they hold each other's baby, they nurse each other's baby. There's so much support, and it's like, we have not fetishized, but like kind of with like women fitness postpartum, like we're so used to seeing like I said, stroller fitness and aerobics and all this lightweight stuff. And it's not a sin. Like, it's not a sin to lift heavy weights and,
No.
you know, wear your baby or whatever. And like, I mean, you have to be careful. Like, you shouldn't be wearing your baby and deadlifting. Like, there's certain things they're dangerous to the baby at a certain age with their neck. And like you said, with your pelvic floor, but like, listen to your body. But this whole thing of like, you have to be super weak and super maimed by your baby for like at least 3-4 years is ridiculous. Like, everyone's body is different. And also, don't push yourself. There's women who are very thin who, like me, you know, I was really skinny and healthy when I had my first kid, and that maimed me. So it's like, you know, it just, yeah, whether you're like, you know, a lifter right now and you're pregnant or postpartum, it's like, just like you said, listen to your body and just do what feels right. Don't quit. Even if you have to just stop for a little while and do bodybuilding stuff, as long as you're training, you're not losing.
Exactly. Like, I was lucky and I was able to, like, I did a powerlifting competition 5 months after Jordan was born, and like, everyone's like, oh, that's insane, how did you do that? But it's not, because I didn't like lift as much as I would have prior to getting pregnant, right? And I was still coming back, but I just knew if I didn't get back on the platform at that point, I would fall into bad habits and maybe I never would have.
Yeah, same here. Totally. Yeah, 100%. That's why I started the podcast. Is why I made my own home gym, because I was like, if I have to wait till something's gonna open, and be so depressed. Like, we're still in lockdown here, and it's been a year, and I miss people, you know, and you have to, like, just me doing those stroller walks outside has done, now the spring is like, even in 2 weeks, has done so much for my mental health. Like, it's insane.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, exercise is exercise, you know, like, I have no apologies. Like, I dropped, I think, like $1,500, and I make sacrifices, right? Like, so I could do that to buy protein powder and things I wanted. And at first, like, my head was talking myself out, because the first time I did this, my first on, I self-sabotaged a lot. So like, and I ended up having like protein that expired and went bad, right? So I was like, oh, why are you spending this money this year? Like, you know, you could be saving this, like, this is selfish to go to stuff with kids. And now it's like the best decision ever made, right? But we can be so hard on ourselves, right? And when it gets tough, like you said, I don't like talking about the experience when I was in the gym. We can be like, you know, don't do it. You can give up, but don't. I mean, you don't see it tomorrow, but you will see it'll pay off, right? So I want to talk about
comes back.
Yeah.
This might take a while.
Exactly. It never fully goes away. And that's what I've learned about these babies, like, changing my body so drastically. Is women are strong as fuck. We're mighty as fuck.
Like, I just want to say something about that. So we're talking about like having babies, and like having a baby is like a great experience, but it wreaks havoc on your body, right?
Oh yeah.
So I found, honestly, like, coming back after Jordan was easier than I'm finding right now coming back after having ACL surgery. Like, I had it at Christmas Eve 2019, and I'm like, oh, a couple months from now I'll be good, whatever, I'm tough, whatever. And now, like, I'm just that I can squat 3 plates again. I'm just that I can do some deadlifts that are decent. Like, I'm not like there yet, and it's been like over a year, and I'm finding it harder than coming back after having a baby.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, for me, it's like, I feel like the things that stopped me in my life before in training, or just in my career goals or whatever, in business, is just so minuscule compared to like what I've overcome having a baby. Like, it's just amazing. So I really encourage women who are listening to it, like, if you're a mom, like, and you're just new to lifting, like, you'd be surprised what your body can fucking do. Like, it's amazing.
Amazing people.
Amazing. When men are like, ow, my ankle hurts. I'm like, bitch, I pushed a baby out of my vajay. You know what I mean? Like, like, seriously. Like, God. Like, you carry a big ass 11-pound baby, okay? Then you can come talk to me. And then not letting things hang up, like, self body image, right? Because like, I have a faloop because I had 2 big babies. I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. Like, that was a big thing for me. Like, and a lot of people I've interviewed is like, who are heavyweights, like wearing shorts in the gym. And if you had if you're a mom, you got mom bod. Like, who cares, man? If you're in a lifting gym or not, people are gonna respect the fuck out of your hustle. Like, no one's gonna see shit.
I think like a lot of women, it's us. Like, it's the way we think and the way we're kind of taught to think. I don't think most people give a shit what you're wearing at the gym. I don't think people give a shit what you're wearing when you go for a walk, or when you go to the grocery store, or even when you go to work for that matter, like people don't notice it as much as we think they will when we get dressed in the morning.
Unless you're in like some really high-end corporate job where like you're walking out and
Yeah.
like those, you ever see those Walmart videos? Like rednecks, unless you're wearing something like that. Like no one.
But if you're wearing short shorts to the gym, no one's gonna even like care. Like you're at the gym, you're comfortable in your own body. Like that's all that matters.
So what I think is really cool, and I know there's a lot more lifters and people are doing this. Like I'm training my toddler how to do strongman. So you teach your daughter. She does like Olympic lifting, which is really, really cool. So talk to me about that, like your experience as a mom. Teach your daughter how to lift, how that felt for you, like what it meant for you, and how it's made your relationship stronger. Obviously, as a family who lifts, I'm sure you're unbreakable, right? Like, because when you lift, your whole life is organized. I'm sure your daughter's is successful in her academics and will continue to be a successful human because of that. But what's your take on it? As a strong lifting family.
My daughter does compete in Olympic weightlifting. She started, I think she's 6. She's 8 now. We have a couple of really awesome weightlifting coaches, Oli coaches at Mettle. So like she lives with us at home, and especially now more than she's getting more serious now. She's done some competitions. She lives with Corey Chandler and David Samoya at Mettle, and they teach her technique, because neither Steve or I are weightlifters. Like we're strongman powerlifters. We don't have the technique for the snatch and the clean and jerk. Like we can teach it, but we can't, we can't be nitpicky about it. And those two guys are doing amazing things with my daughter. The first time she ever did a competition, she loves competing, by the way, like it's her favorite. She doesn't even get really nervous anymore. Like I had tears in my eyes, like when she's out there and she like gets her first lift and she's so proud of herself. And like, she has this confidence at such a young age that, man, like if I could go back in time and tell my child self something, I would be like, you know what, lift some friggin' weights, like, or compete. Like I played sports and stuff, but I think doing strength sports as kids, like strongman stuff or Oli or stuff like that, like it just gives them some confidence that I don't think can be received from anything else. Like just, and it's an individual sport too. So it's like she accomplishes it. She did it. Like it's not like her team did it. Like she did that. She won that medal. She got that lift. Like she got that PR. And like, I don't know. I just see such a confidence in her, and she's only 8, and man, she's going to take over the world.
I honestly, I've seen her stuff and it's really inspiring. And when I was at her age, like I remember being as young as 8, like worrying about, that's when my eating disorder started and my body dysmorphia. And when I really wanted to be a boy, and it was because I wanted to play sports, I wanted to do certain things. And I felt that, being a woman, I also hit puberty super young, I think like 11, like crazy young. It's like, it's like, oh, I'm a woman, I can't do these things. Because that's what we were told, like you said, we're growing up, right? So I think like if I would have gone into lifting, when I see all these teen girls, I'm like, wow, that girl is gonna have like 0 problems in life. She's gonna either end up being an entrepreneur or have like a really successful trade or whatever, like whatever. It's like she's gonna be super successful because she has self-respect and self-love. And so when it comes to like the influence of my kids, if somebody wants to say shit, I'm like, you know what? Fucking proud. I'm fucking proud. Yeah, I'm not a perfect mom. I make mistakes. I'm not always there for my kid in the way I want to. Sometimes I yell at him. Sometimes I do things I really regret. But you know what? At the end of the day, I've taught my kid to hustle because he's seen me work. He's seen me have my business since he was 3 months old, right? He's seen me physically recuperate, right? Mm-hmm. Now the second time. And then seeing me lift and do all these things and kind of breaking gender stereotypes and stuff like that. He's going to respect women, right? He's going to respect himself. And he's, you know what I mean? Like all that is setting a good example. And now that he's, 4, he's like interested and I've been able to teach him. So it's just really amazing to have that experience. And like when you have her attend your competitions or, vice versa, what does that mean to you?
Oh my God, when Jordan's there, oh my God, it just like drives me to like do so much better. Like I'll never forget, she was at War of the West, whatever the last one we had would have been 2000, before COVID hit, 2019, May 2019, I think. And it was this, like, I have this video, and we had a squat event, and it was super cool, by the way, with a super cool backdrop. But like, she's on this video, and I think my mom was taking the video or someone, and she was sitting with my mom, and all you hear is her like screaming to the point of her like voice cracking. She's like, go mom, you've got this, mom. And like, it's just like, she has like, and I hear her, and I'm so focused when I compete. Like, I don't hear anyone except for my husband, who's telling me like, go harder, stop, or do whatever, because he's also my coach. And now I'm starting to hear her, like, the crowd kind of like all blends together. But when I hear her say, go mom, it's like, oh man, I gotta freaking do this. Like, if I don't want to let her down, which is why sometimes when she's there, I think I do better, because I want to make her proud and impress her.
Yeah. I know with my kid, because my estrogen gets released and I just become this cuddly fucking bear. Like, I go full panda, and I'm like, I want to kiss you.
Yeah, it doesn't happen with me, because like, she'll come up and hug me after events and stuff, but like, I know there's someone there taking care of her, like either my mom or my sister or Steve's mom is there, and like, she's well taken care of. She's fine. And like, I don't know, I think like I have someone to take care of her, and like, my competition is number one that day. And she's grown up knowing that, like, the day mommy competes or the day daddy competes, it's like, you know what, I gotta hang out with grandma, and I just gotta like kind of like not fend for myself, but I'm not gonna get like the mommy treatment, right? Like, and she knows that she gets it.
I think, sorry, what the most beautiful thing about your story is the fact that, like, and most strong women, is that we're not the stereotypical, and I'm not saying this is this, like, we're not the stereotypical Instagram, like, booty band body, like what you're saying. And so the fact that she gets to see someone who, you're a teacher, you're successful, you have a career, you have a business, right? Mm-hmm. And you're successful in strongman. So like, right. And I can't remember, are you middleweight or heavyweight?
I always compete open.
Okay. I just want to double check. But anyways, my point is like, you know what I mean? We're not 105 pounds, so like, she's seen someone who has, like, you overcame, like, so the postpartum recovery journey, and like the way that you entered the sport, right? Like you said, you weren't like lifting weights your whole life, right?
No, so that's gross.
Yeah, because so many people like feel like they have to have the genetics or the qualifications or XYZ to like do it, and you've totally proven that wrong. So I just think it's really powerful, your story. And I encourage everyone who has listened today, thank you for tuning in, for supporting us. Please, like I said, if you want to see this podcast grow, it's so important to support us. You can, AKA click the button on our website that says buy me a coffee. Please share this podcast interview, comment on it. That's huge for us. If you're on any of our podcast platforms like Apple, Spotify, you can give it a 5-star rating. You can follow it, subscribe. So we're here for you. That's why we're doing this. Let us know people you want to see on our show. Let us know what you thought about today. And you can always reach out to Tracey and ask for any questions. All the links will be on the video. And like I said, visit our website, panastrongpodcast.weebly.com, which is really exciting this month. We're launching a merch store. A lot of the shirts that are on there are designed from our guests and hilarious things we've said or that they say. So check out that. It's going to be really, really cool. And like I said, our YT channel, subscribe to it, because if you want to learn how to make equipment, you want to learn workout videos, our guest speakers are doing virtual strength workshops. Some of them are going to be judges in our first annual virtual strength comp, which is really cool. And you can find all of Tracey's information on our athletic directory, our athlete directory that's on our website that's launching this month too. So a lot of exciting things are coming up, so check in. And also, if you're on a Strong Women of Canada Facebook page, you can get access to codes to get discounts and deals on merch, apparel, and all the kind of fitnessy things that these lovely ladies represent. And if you want to be on our athlete directory, or if you have a competition coming up, you can advertise on our site. So get connected with Tracey Halladay.
Yeah.
So bright. Well, thanks for being on our show, girl. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hey, we love you.
I love everyone.
Show those guns before you go. Flex.
Oh, I don't even have any.
I know mine are not defined. Like they never are. Even when I'm skinny, it's just like, which angle are we going for here? Just feel it.
I'm
just
like
feel it
super
flow.
small right now. I like haven't been really, well, I've been training, but I'm not training events right now. I'm just training like other stuff. So
Just edit the photos with the filters, you know, with some contrast, and then you'd be good to go. But just kidding. But yeah, check out our gym if you're in the area, and you know, we look forward to hearing your feedback, folks. So
Wait.
thanks for tuning in. Clickety, clickety, boom.